Okay, good. Well, thank you for waiting. Welcome everyone to our IMIM webinar sessions. My name is Isaac Limus. I'm the IMIM program coordinator in UPM, and I'm very happy to welcome you to these sessions. We're gonna have each week one webinar covering different topics, and this is our big opening. So thank you very much for being interested and also for joining and registering. And you are welcome, of course, to spread the word about this. Good. So to start the session, first of all, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker. So please, I would like to thank Professor Xiao from Northwestern Polytechnic University in Xi'an, China. She's an expert on circular economy and circular business models, as you have seen in the advertisement of this webinar. And I'm very happy as well to say that she's a very nice friend and colleague. Actually, she invited me to Northwestern Polytechnic University to do some teaching back in 2018. We also had a paper published on circular business models in the automotive industry in China. So I'm really happy that she's also on board with our IMIM Consortium partnership. That I will explain a bit more about the 5 universities that are part of this consortium, the IMIM program. And she, of course, she holds a bachelor, an engineering bachelor, and she also got a double PhD, one in Politecnico de Milano and Polytechnical University of Madrid. And now she works as associate professor and assistant of dean in the School of Management in Northwestern Polytechnic University. And as you can see, she has several publications on this topic. Okay. Before I give her, I'm sure that she will explain more to you in a few minutes. And before we start the session, and I see also more people connecting, so we would like to start the first minutes to talk a bit about the IMIM. So probably some of you might already be part of the network. Some of you maybe are still new in this community, and we are very happy to have you here. So what we're gonna do is that we would like to get to know you a bit more, so we know how to also target this webinar. So you should see we have 3-4 questions that we would like you to answer quickly. You should see it by now in Zoom. The first one is how are you connected with our IMIM community? So if you could answer this question, okay, that would be great. And then the second one is about how much do you know about this topic, circular economy and circular business models. The third one, if you are working and in which industry. By first sector, we mean everything that is a raw material, like mining, husbandry, fishing, agriculture. The second sector is manufacturing, and the third sector are services. So this will help us to target a bit better, and of course, to get to know all of us better. So I'm gonna start also explaining a bit of the agenda. So before I give the microphone to our introduced note speaker, we're gonna talk a bit about the IMIM program, around 5 minutes. And also Professor Xiao, she will introduce our co-host for this webinar, which is Northwestern Polytechnic University. And after that, we're going to have around half an hour with the talk and, of course, the questions and answer session, so we can get more insights about circular economy and circular business models. So I hope that we make the best use of the time. The IMIM, for those who do not know, is an international master program. And so it's a multi-site one. It means that students, usually they change from one semester to another to study in different universities and also to do a final internship or thesis in one of our partner universities. So this program exists since 2004 and actually was awarded with Erasmus Mundus brand by the European Commission from 2006 and 2013. And we have been, we have a lot of experience and we have gained a lot of network, and of course, very happy with our graduates since those times. So we're preparing to, we are happy to say that we're preparing definitely the best engineers for the future, okay? Basically, as you can see in this graph, our graduates come from around 25 countries. Basically, most of the continents are covered, and many come from Asia, from Europe, and as well from South America. How is our consortium? So we have 5 universities that are part of the IMIM Consortium. So we have UPM in Madrid in Spain. We have Hanover University that has 2 campuses as options for our students to study, which is in Edinburgh in the UK and Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. We also have the Monterrey Tech with 3 campuses in Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey. And we also have Polytechnic di Torino in Turin, Italy. And of course, our co-host, Northwestern Polytechnic University in Xi'an in China, that Professor Xiao will speak more about that. So just for you to have an idea about this program, what we do is that students currently have started in Hanover University. From next edition, they will start in UPM. So we will exchange these 2 semesters. They will now start in UPM and then Hanover. And for the first semester, they can choose between going to Dubai, Italy, China, or Mexico. And the first semester, the master thesis, that could be company-based or university-based, could be done, technically everywhere in the world, having one of the tutors or supervisors from our 5 partner universities. So this is just a bit of the program. We usually, our curricula, our modules, the courses that we teach are, let's say, focused on key trend industries and markets, and also in the needs that companies have shared with us about the managers that they need for the future. So that's why we also came out with this idea of the webinars, trying to show the research that we have on these key trends. And of course, one strength of the program is not only the content, but these itineraries. So these routes that the students can take along the 5 partner universities. Here are just some of the companies that usually they have employed in the last 16 years, our students. So you can see they are in the top industry sectors, and also many big names and brands are here. So we are very proud to show you that, okay? So this is just a small, let's say, introduction for those of you who are new to the community. Actually, I'm gonna show you quickly the voting. I think this will help Professor Xiao and me to understand more about you. I'm showing now the results with you. So, so we have a lot of academics working today's topic, and also alumni and current students from IMIM, also people interested there. So most of you, I think it's very balanced, have some knowledge about circular economy and circular business models. Good to have some experts here with us. Most of you are currently working, and you're working on the service sector. Great. So this is very good. Very good audience that we have today. We're very honored to have you here. Perfect. So I think this was the first quick introduction from my side. I would like to give the microphone now to our keynote speaker, Professor Jing Xiao, and I will share her first document in 1 second. But please, Professor Xiao, you're welcome to to introduce yourself, please.
Thank you, Zach. It's very nice to link here with Isaac and all the interested audience here, and I'm really glad to share our university's information and also the topic we are researching on today with all our friends here. And thank you very much for Isaac to organize all these activities. I think he has done a very good job in order to organize all the audience and to show people about the program and also to show some insights of the research we have already done. So first of all, I will just use 5 minutes to introduce our university and our School of Management, because as you can see that we are one of the 5 partners in IMIM program, and also it's our pleasure to offer this service for our students. So first of all, can you move to next
Yes,
page,
sorry,
please?
there are some
Thank you.
arrows. I'm not sure if you can see them, and you can also move it, or I can do it for you, of course.
I don't think I can move it.
Okay, I will do it. Don't worry. Sorry. Thanks.
Yeah. So first of all, that I will do the introduction of our school and introduce some of our international collaborations we have already have, and also I would like to introduce what kind of majors we have in order to show for the students who are interested to have a degree or master program or doctor program in our university. And next page, please. So our university is Northwestern Polytechnical University, which is, next page, please. Yes, so you can see our geography location actually is in the center of China, and Xi'an actually is in the center of this province. And our university is top 30 universities in China, and also it's ranking around 500 in the US ranking. It is also the national double first class, which kind of like the first tier university in China. And the school has around 90 faculties and 10 research groups in different research area. And also we have 4 research students. We have quite a long history for our management school, and we have enrolled more than 100 foreign students every year actually in our school. And our faculties have most of our faculties around 80% have overseas experience during or after their PhD. So most of our professors are very good in English and they can teach in English as well. Next page, please. So basically we have 2 disciplines, which is management science and engineering, and also business administration, which is most popular in the world. And every year we received applications more than 500. So we have also some qualifications criteria, and I will introduce it later. So in each discipline, we have some research orientations which are shown in our table, and you can have a look to see whether you're interested or not. And next page, please. Yes, so now we have the faculties have led more than 60 research projects which sponsored by the National Fund, and also more than 200 ministerial or provisional level research projects. And also we have a very close connection with the national defense industry and the aviation industry. As you can see the brands in the next page. Yes, so I'll just show it and then pass to next one. We have also generated 10 research institutions, which include Research Center for Development of Science, Technology, and Industry of National Defense, as well as National Project Management Research Institution. Actually, our school is more famous in project management. It is one of the best management school to offer project management in China. And also me myself are doing research in international research institution for sustainable operation, which is collaborated with the researchers from Japan, UK, and other countries. So we have already oriented some international projects in sustainability research field. And next page, please. So here we're gonna show you about the international collaboration information. Actually, we have already built connections with many other different universities. And also we were the founding member of Alliance of Chinese and European Business School, which called ACE, if you have heard. And it includes more than 20 universities from both China and Europe. And based on this alliance, we have also developed some programs. For example, 3+2 program, 1+1 program. It's a master program, and also some exchange program with Singapore National University and some business school in France, and also ESICA business school in France, which is also ranking very high. And also we have developed 1+1 program with Rotterdam School of Management and La Trobe University from Australia. Furthermore, last year we were very happy to join the IMIM program. So we are also the partner, one of the partner for this program. And it's our opportunity to show our international influence and also to meet more international students. And that's a very good chance for us. And next page, please. So this picture is going to just show that we have some connections with all the universities all around the world. And also we want to expand our collaboration network. So I know that some of our audience are the professors or the colleagues from different universities. So if you're interested, you can also link to me or links to Ms. Teng at the end of the PowerPoint, and we could discuss on our collaboration later. And next page, please. So here it shows that we have several majors for international students, includes business administration and management science and engineering. And for the management science and engineering, we have both master and PhD programs. So so if you're interested, you can also apply for that. We have also our requirements list in our table. Next page, please. So here the picture just shows that where are these students are coming from. Actually, as you can see that currently we have many students from Pakistan, Morocco, Bangladesh, Russia, and Yemen, and some Belt and the Road and Belt Initiative countries. So we'll also welcome all the students from all around the world to join our university and our program. And next page, please. So here is the information of how to connect us. You can write email or you can just visit our website, and we are looking forward to further collaboration. Thank you very much. And this is just a very brief introduction of our school. So I see Akram write something, but I don't understand the language. The most interesting thing here in our meeting room is that the people are from different country, different time zone all around the world, and it's a very new experience for me as well. How do you think is that? So shall I continue or? I think you mute yourself, Isaac. Thank you, Akram.
Sorry. Yes, yes, you can go ahead. Sorry, I was just saying that you're right, and actually we have 28 different nationalities registered for this seminar. So
Oh, that's really cool. And also, as Isaac introduced, that actually this webinar will hold every week, almost a similar time. So I would like to invite all the audience to continuously to listen to our topics and also to get to know better of our program. And also it's a very good chance for us to get communicate. Okay, cool. So I'll continue to talk about the research topic, which is circular economy and the circular business model. And you can stop me by writing the questions anytime you want. I'll just keep the space not to speak too fast in order to ensure the presenting quality. Okay, so next page, please. Okay, so as Isaac has already introduced, I'm now working in Northwestern Polytechnical University, and my research interests is mainly focused on sustainable production and consumption, circular economy, business model, and also corporate social responsibility. And previously, I was mainly research on the topic of study on the information transition from sustainable production to consumption, and with multiple stakeholders' viewpoints, and to show how to show the information of the sustainability information of the product when it is in the manufacturing process or in the transportation process to the consumers in order to promote them to buy more greener products. And recently, I moved my research a little bit to a further direction to circular business model and the study on the circular business model transformation of producer service enterprises and its policy. And it is in the beginning phase. So I would like to also ask you if you have interests to collaborate or research to apply the research fund together. It's more than welcomed. So let's have a look on what is circular economy and what is circular business model. Next page, please. Next page. Oh, yes. Okay. So in response to the challenge of sustainable development over last several decades, we have already become very interested in the concept of circular economy as a replacement for prevailing linear economic system, which is take, make, and dispose. So we apply 3R principles, which means reduce, reuse, and recycle to production, distribution, and consumption process. So currently, actually, circular economy is a very hot topic, and it's a generic concept that encompasses a variety of sustainability approaches. And we have already applied many kinds of different circular economy approaches. For example, remanufacturing, performance economy, biomimicry, cradle-to-cradle process, etc. Actually, okay, next page, please. So first of all, let's have a look on what is business model. I think most of you have already heard of it, and also especially from the internet industry, where companies can get really big success after applying very new or very innovative business model. And normally, business model is the conceptual logic of how the firm creates and appropriates economic value. And the business model innovation basically means that it is a method to promote sustainable forms of production and consumption and relate to both technological innovation and the circular economy. Actually, in the history of the strategy study, from Porter's competitive strategy theory, and they believe that accurate market positioning can lead to the victory. But the resource-based wheel theory by Barney, they believe that compared to the market positioning, the company's comprehensive strengths, such as core competence, is more important to make the company maintain competitive. So the business model itself is actually the integration of the theory and the power of business strategy. Its value dimensions generally include value proposition, value delivery, value creation, value capture, etc., as we can see in the pages. But the core here, we can see the most important thing for figure out in business model is what value is created and how to create value. Next page, please. So based on the thank you. Based on the theory we introduced for circular economy, actually circular business model emphasize on the return flow to the producers from users through there can be intermediates between two parties. And for the concept of circular business model, which is different from business model, because the business model for the circular economy as a class of the generic strategy for the sustainable business models. And it can be defined as a business model in which the conceptual logic for value creation is based on utilizing economic value retained in products after use in the production of new offerings. On the base of the research process, actually many researchers has already done some work on this. For further, for give you more insights of it, I can give you some examples. For example, the Professor Urbina from Polytechnic Milano, they proposed dimensions from the perspective of customer value proposition and its interface. So it has a realization of the concept of circulation when presenting the value to the customers. Sustainable business model and circular business model are the same thing? No, not really. Circular business model is, thank you for your question. I don't remember the name of the people who ask. Yeah, it's a very good question. Actually, circular business model is a smaller concept than sustainable model, business model. And in circular business model, you have to apply the idea of circular economy. It means that you need to make the material become a loop and get back to the products after using it. So it's based on the material point of view. But for sustainable business model, it's more like a generic. It's a more generic concept. So it means that not only from the perspective of material, but you need to also think about other perspective in order to make it more sustainable. So the circular business model is a part of sustainable business model, as I understand. Okay. Okay. So on the base of the research process, a narrow classification of circular business model based on the degree of circular adoption is proposed from two dimensions, actually. And one is from the Urbina, from as I introduced. One is from the customer value proposition and interface, and another one is from Urbina about value network, which are the ways in which firms interact with suppliers and they need to reorganize their internal activities. So based on this work, actually our colleague, Una Ennis, he also extended the research with a set of management practices that mapped circular economy business model and designed along three main dimensions, which are value network, customer value proposition and interfaces, and also management commitment. Next page, please. Okay, so here it is a summary of literature which shows that which kind of circular business model supposed to be. And they have 4 categories in all, but it's not all of them. It's just a typical circular business model. So you can also find some other types of models in the reality and also in the further research. The first one is cycling, which means that the material and energy are recycled within the system through reuse, remanufacturing, or refurbishing or recycling. And for example, the decommissioned industrial robots can be reused in small or medium companies. And the second one is extending. It means extending the resource loop. It means that the use phase of the product is extended, and through long-lasting or timeless design, marketing that encourage long use phases, maintenance, and repair. And the third one is intensifying, which means intensifying the resource loops, which means that the use phase of the product is intensified through the solutions such as sharing economy, which we are more get used to already, and or some public transportation. For example, now the car sharing can reduce some idle times of the car, and also the bicycle as well in the city has already been well used in many cities of the Europe and also in China. And the last one is dematerializing resource loops. It describes the provision of product utility without hardware through substitution with service and software solutions. For example, offering service or product service system instead of physical products to fulfill the same function of the user. And in this case, they can reduce the products they produced and also enhance the customer experience. And for example, I understand that in Europe, some automobile manufacturing company has manufactured less cars, but offered a service for renting the cars at the same time. So in this case, they don't have to produce, for example, 100 cars for 100 people, but only maybe 80 or 60 in order to offering the sharing offering the service after manufacturing. Next page, please. And also, if you want to have this circular business model based on our original business model, we need to have innovative method. And here the researcher J. Stoffer, he gave us some ideas about how to be innovative and how to do the circular business model innovation. And he categorized 4 different types of circular business model innovation. And the first one is circular business model transformation, which means that the modification of an existing business model. Well, the initial business model can be either both conventional or circular. The resulting business model incorporates circular business strategy. And the second one is the circular startup, which means that it's a pretty new company and which applies the circular economy strategy. And the third one is diversification, which describes the development of new business models that incorporate circular economy strategy from within an existing organization. So actually the parent organization stays in a place and the new business model are either integrated into the organization as a new business, or you can just become a subsidiaries. And the last one is acquisition, which means that after merger and acquisition activity, the target business model become the organization using the circular economy strategies. So this is basically 4 kinds of different different approaches which companies can move or can transform their business model to circular business model. So next page, please. So here I pasted a picture which developed by Boken, who is a very famous Swedish researcher in circular business model. She has already summarized the business model innovation from different perspectives, like technological innovation, social innovation, and organizational innovation. And could you click one more time, Isaac? Yeah. And for us, we are more interested to understand how the technological innovation can promote the business model innovation. So we can see actually we are already, if you're interested in this topic, we can see many familiar concepts here. For example, lean manufacturing, additive manufacturing, cradle to cradle, industrial symbiosis, and so on. So if you're interested, each block can be a very interesting topic in your further research. So I just skip this page. If you're interested, you can also go back to her publication later. Next page, please. And I'm not sure how much minutes I left.
Yeah, we still have some more time.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I'll just keep it in a good speed. Okay, so here is a tool for designing or redesign our business model, and which is one of the most popular tool to use in the industry now, which called business model canvas. And this canvas is produced by Ostwald and Peniel in 2010, and they have 4 main areas of a business: customer, offer, infrastructure, and the financial viability. And you can also see 9 different blocks in the map in order to show different information. For example, the left column, the first building block, is customer segments, which means it is the heart of the business model. And also you need to define the various groups of customer or organizations that any other companies, and also that any company aims to target based on the common needs and behaviors. So here you need to list all the customers. And also the second building block is value proposition, where you need to define why the customer choose a company over another. And the value proposition category is categorized by the combination of products and service that create value for the certain type of customer. And the third building block is channel. It means that it describes the ways that a company use to reach out its customer in order to deliver their specific value proposition. And also you need to show the relationship with the other companies, and also you need to show the revenue streams and some key resources you need. And also in the 7th category is the key activities, and you need to show all the important activities in order to assure the quality and assure the values can be delivered to the customer. And at last, you need to also show the stakeholders and the key aliens and the cost structures in order to finish this map. And if you understand, if you have a basic idea about what this map has, and please move to next page. Yes. So in order to adapt the business model to circular business model, this researcher called Dao in 2020, he published a paper on how to develop the eco canvas for circular business model. So they add some more blocks in order to integrate the circular economy ideas. The main ideas is to consider important aspects and create value among the broader range of stakeholders. So more stakeholders will be considered in this map. And also they consider the environmental foresights and the social foresights, which is very, very important in circular economy. If you understand that sustainability has three pillars: environmental impact, social impact, and economic impact. So normally the companies focus more on the environmental impact, but not the other tools. So you have to consider the environmental and the social impact in the circular economy business model. So for example, the environmental foresight includes climate change, resource scarcity, environmental regulation, etc. And also the social foresights include how about the consumers' awareness to the environmental issues and how is their attitudes and trends will shift to environmental or organic food or green products. And also how is the consumers will be expect to look out for product footprints. It means that it means that you have they have the desire to understand how about the sustainability information of the products in their manufacturing process or transportation process. Okay, so since the time is limited, I will just give you a brief introduction of a case example of circular business model. Next page, please. Yeah, so we will talk about cradle to cradle idea, and it's an example of circular business model, which is already a mutual business model in the circular economy. And it is different from the cradle to grave idea. It is in this model, the industrial production and the environmental protection are regarded as two dictionary and coordinated perspectives. So actually, these ideas was developed by in 1990s by Professor Michael Bungold and William McDonald. They published a book called Cradle to Cradle, Remarking the Way We Make Things. So they also have, based on this book, in 1991, they proposed the Sustainable Design Principles for Expo 2010, namely the Hanover Principles, which took waste elimination as the core and emphasized the waste elimination is not to reduce or avoid waste generation, but to eliminate waste completely through designing. So the most important idea in this cradle to cradle case is that we need to understand that we don't have to decrease the waste, but from the other perspective, we have to think about the waste issues from the beginning of the designing or of the producing of our products. Okay, so next page, please. And here is some principles how to make the how to make the cradle-to-cradle products or process. And next page, please. Okay, so I think I'll skip this part and next page, please. And next page, please. So if you want to change the business model, you also need to think about how to make your people, how to make your product, and also even how to collaborate with your stakeholders in order to make the business model have a change and transform to more circular process. And next page, please. Okay, so the last part I would like just to show you a little information about C2c Certificate. So in order to show how these companies works on their circular business model and how good are they, actually they're using the C2c Certificate, which concludes the material health, material utilization. And next page, please. And how much renewable energy you have used, and also about water, is it healthy, is it clean after you producing, and also the social fairness along the process of the products have been manufactured, transported, and used. So this certificate is also quite widely used in the world. And as I remember that more than 4,000 companies already got this certificate by last year. Okay, so can you move to next page, please? So I just give you 3 points to take out today. The concept of what is circular business model, and the 2 business model canvas, and also there's a brief case about C2C. So if you are interested, you can also link to me, and now any kind of questions are more than welcomed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jing, for all these very interesting insights to clarify the concepts. So I would like to invite now people who have questions. Either they can write them in the chat, or you can also raise your hand so that you can ask Professor Xiao your question. So I think we have somebody writing on the chat. Okay, they like the presentation. If you have any question, you can also mute your microphone.
So actually, previously we are more focusing on the circular business model for manufacturing company, and recently we are more focused on the producer service enterprises, as I write maybe this page and the page before. For example, transportation, logistics, information industry. Yeah, 1 page before, if you can see, if you can show it.
This is very interesting, right? Like, so now we have, let's say, the 2, both manufacturing and service firms kind of collaborating, or the manufacturing firms transforming into a service firm as well, if I understood correctly, right?
Yes. So more focus is on the how the producer service industry is supposed to use this circular economy idea in order to make their business model more competitive, and also about which kind of innovative ability they're supposed to have, and which kind of competitiveness they can have in order to make their companies more successful or more sustainable. So that's basically what we're doing currently.
Good. I think this is another very interesting thing also for our audience. I remember that most of them, they're working on service firms, right? So So we have somebody in the chat. So we have a question from Jose Hidalgo. Circular business models are validated by any tool such as a life cycle assessment?
I think they have some. Thank you very much for the question. I just read some paper. I understand they have make some tools in order to transform the circular business model, and also to see their performance after transformation. So I think if you're interested, I can also send you the paper by me and Yang and Evans from Cambridge University. They published paper on in 2019.
Thank you, Jing. We also have a question by Sayed Shaib. Please, Shaib, go ahead.
Thank you, Isaac, and thank you very much, Dr. Xiao, for a very nice presentation. It was very interesting listening to you. I have a question about the link between circular economy and sustainability. I mean, there is some discussion about the downside of circular economy. I mean, if you're not really looking at, if you're just looking at the circularity of the material and not the net positive gain we get at the end of the, whatever we do. So do you have some comments on it, that how much analysis we should do, how we should analyze, for example, when we are going for circular business model? So from sustainability perspective. I mean, too much focus on maybe material circularity maybe sometimes lead to, you may not get sustainability results that you want to achieve. Thank you.
Yeah, if I understand your question correctly, I think that's also the question I'm thinking about in recent days, like how to show the characteristics of the circularity of the business model and how much circularity is enough for the circular business model transformation. And also, I think maybe this question is linked to the previous question. It's like how to evaluate, is it a successful one or not? So basically, the idea I have in my mind is that to link to the competitiveness of the company, whether they can have better competitiveness after transforming to circular business model, and how much is it? And actually in literature, I don't know whether you have noticed it or not, there are not much literature working on how to evaluate the competitiveness. They only focus on, for example, what are the main factors or key features to influence the competitiveness, or they find some factors which are control variable or mediator variable in order to show how much influence they have to get the results at the end. But there's not a objective evaluate tool or evaluate principles to evaluate the competitiveness. So that's perhaps the way that we could move on in the future, but I'm not sure yet.
Thank you very much for your question, Dr. Sai from KTH in Sweden. Nice to have you here. Do we have more questions from the audience?
I may add something based on what Jing said and Saib said. Can you hear me, Zach?
Yes, we can hear you, Ebru.
Yeah, this is Ebru. Very nice to see many previous and existing colleagues. Hello to everyone. So it was a very interesting presentation. Jing, thanks for that. I think you have done a great job in a limited amount of time. We have listened to wide coverage about circular economy and circular business models. So based on what Shaib said, I have been thinking on it. Perhaps may depend on how many R's, which R's we are talking about, right? Because in the presentation, you have roughly covered 3 R's, but they may be extended to 4, 6, 9, and the list goes on. And one of the R's is basically to refuse the consumption. Yeah. So how we can really integrate these different dimensions, so to say, some strategies, how they are called, these R strategies, also with the aim to increase the sustainability output of circular economy practices, right? So I wanted to hear also your perspective about if and how we can extend the R's that we are considering in our circular economy thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Thank you.
it's a very good point. Thank you, April. Yes, I have also noticed that there are like 9 R's actually. Sometimes they mentioned in our literature, but I think it depends on the industry. For example, currently I'm working on aviation airline industry, and they cannot really get involved many R's as we mentioned. So I think it's more or less based on which kind of industry we are talking about, and then we can select the proper R's to get integrated in our circular business model. And because also, as you said, that they have many various different perspectives, so it's very important actually, and also it's a very critical things to get more R's. So I think basically we should select a specific industry or some industry in similar as a set of the group, and then to research on that. Otherwise, I think it's too difficult to get a generic results from the research.
Yeah, then this also brings us to the question of level of analysis and unit of analysis, and what exactly we are talking about when we say circular economy implementation. So where, in which context, and then the context matters as well. Yeah. Well, thanks, Jing.
Thank you very much for your question. And actually,
we have a new question. Can you see it, Jing, or should I read it?
Yeah, it's too fast. Just move back.
From Sebastian Foslund. The transition to circular economy comes with some cons, such as the cost of transitioning to a more sustainable model. Do you have any thoughts on how to make circular economy both profitable and sustainable?
Yeah, I think, thank you very much, Sebastian. I think it's a very good question. Actually, previously we were talking about sustainability and the corporate social responsibility a lot for a decade, but companies are not very motivated by themselves to move to the circular side, to move to the sustainable side. Why? Because they think they need to invest a lot and also maybe change the manufacturing process and also transportation, consider too much factors in order to make it a bit more green. So unless the regulation or government have policies, they will never do it. But for circular economy business model, I think there's another way. Maybe it's a possible way for companies to get both profit and also sustainability, because since the circular business model, the initiative is starting from designing of the products and to think about the materials, starting from their designing phase. So if the company could move a little bit towards this direction, actually they will not have to invest too much at the beginning in order to get the circular business model. As we just show in the picture that we have like 4 different kinds of innovative types. You can also merger, you can also create a new company, you can also have your like a baby company from the parent one. So in this case, I think it's a very good experiment place for companies to get both profits and sustainability at the same time. So I think it could be a bit easier than before to make companies be a bit more greener.
Thank you, Professor Xiao. I think we have another question in the chat. Oh no, it's the thank you from Sebastian. Thank you, Sebastian. So I think, I like the discussion also what Professor Susur brought. We also have Professor Unal from Cranfield University, who is also very experienced on this circular economy topic. I'm not sure if he would like to add something on the top of that.
Hi, Jing. Yeah, thanks a lot for very informative and interesting presentation. I think, yeah, it was very nice to see like all the concepts and the discussion. I just wonder, like we have cradle to cradle to measure circularity in production, in manufacturers. But I just wonder how we can measure circularity in service industry. Like, is there anything like exist regarding to that, or do you have any idea?
Not really. I didn't find it actually. When I was writing my research proposal this month and last month, I didn't find many. So that's why I want to move forward to this producer service industry. But also I think because the resources is much less in service industry than the manufacturing industry. So that's why they are still in the starting phase. But I think for producer service industry, it could be much more interested because they have some segment of performance, but also the manufacturing. So if you're interested, we can talk about it later.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any final question? We're about to close the webinar. So any last intervention, question, comment in general? I hope that you have like our webinars. Actually, Professor Susur, she will be delivering one very soon. And of course, we would like to invite also our other academic colleagues to get involved. So wait for further contact as well, okay?
I have one small announcement, Isaac, if you allow so.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, we also have a monthly webinar series here at KTH, Circular Economy Initiative at KTH. And next month, we will have Professor Nancy Boken as a speaker, and she will present her paper, some preliminary results from her service business models, experimenting with service business models. So I will, yes, so I will share the details, but you can, more information can be found at the link I have shared in the chat. So we will announce the event soon. So hopefully we will have you guys on April 21st from 12 to 1.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I think this is very interesting, especially for the people who like circular economy. So
yeah, I think Boken is the most famous researchers now in this field. So that's very nice to connect her.
Thank you. We'll see you there. Save us a seat, please. Yeah. Okay, so I think unfortunately it will be great to continue this discussion with our audience. So thank you very much for being here, and stay tuned. We're going to share also the recording of this session. So if you'd like to go again through it, or you would like to share it, also we will ask your help to spread the word about our weekly seminars. Also, we are gonna after this webinar, we're gonna send the invitation for our next week's seminar that is going to be on corporate social responsibility. Then we're gonna have a small break because it's Easter, but in April we will retake these webinars. And thank you very much for being here. Please, if you have any further comment, please let us know. And I hope that you have enjoyed our first session. And have a good night, evening. And once again, thank you to our keynote speaker today, Professor Jing Xiao from Northwestern Polytechnic University in China.
Don't forget to share email. I think you can show my last page. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, is it my email over there? But like maybe I can write it.
The last page, right?
No, I don't think that it is there. So I'll just write in the chatting box. So
yes, I'm
if
sure
you
people would like to
write me the email, okay? Yeah, can you see that? xiao.jing@nwpu.edu.cn.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. So see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Jose Hidalgo, thank you very much for joining us. So if we can help you further on what you're doing with your PhD in Ecuador, please let us know, okay? You also have Professor Xiao email also. I think you all have my email, but I will write it as well. Sure, Shah Jahan, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Yeah, we will keep you informed about our future webinars. Remember, next week, also Thursday, about the same time, corporate social responsibility.